Why do some leaders inspire fierce loyalty while others can barely get their team to show up on time? It's not their title, it's not their charisma, it's the small habits that you rarely hear about. Habits that quietly earn respect, build trust, and create teams that go the extra mile, even when no one is watching. In this video, I'm going to break down 10 different leadership habits that transformed my team into 50 plus high performers who treat the business like it's their own, yes, and help me scale my business to over $10 million in annual revenue. Number one, lead by example. So be the first person to demonstrate the standards that you expect. If you want punctuality, you better be early. If you want quality, you better produce it. Integrity and consistency in your actions will earn genuine respect from them. If I'm at one of my buildings and I walk past a Cheeto-wrapper on the ground, I'm gonna stop and pick it up and throw it in the garbage. And I do that because number one, more is caught than taught. I'm showing my team if there's garbage on the ground, pick it up and throw it away. I'm also showing that I am not too good to do any job. You want to make sure that they feel the same way. We are here to get the job done. We are here to serve. And that means sometimes rolling up your sleeves and doing whatever you need to do to get the job done. I think this is a bigger one than a lot of people realize, because when you start to really pour into your team and you get them to retain and stay with you. I've had people with me for 10 and 15 years already. The problem can be that if you don't lead by example, they will start to think they are too good for some of these tasks. They will think, I've been here 10 years. I don't need to do that anymore. But if they see the owner walk in and do those things, they will definitely start to realize, okay, if she's doing it, so am I. Number two, communicate openly and honestly. So transparent leaders build trust. They share goals, their challenges, the wins. They address problems directly and invite input. Employees respect leaders who tell them the truth, even when it's hard. Too many business owners don't want to be mean, so they don't say what they're thinking, and it just turns into bad habits later from their team members and then them becoming resentful. The amount of times I have a business owner come to me and say, Stacey, this person is always late. I'm like, okay, what did you say when they walked in late? And they're like, well, nothing. The first time I thought, oh, this is just the first time, so it's not a big deal. But then they came in late a second time and a third, right? Listen, if you just said honestly what you were thinking, this wouldn't have turned into a bad habit. So when somebody shows up late, I'm going to acknowledge it right away and say, hey, I noticed you're a few minutes late. Is everything okay? I noticed you were late, right? Just saying what I'm thinking. Now, first of all, the way that I just said that, hey, I noticed you were late. Is everything okay? There is no tone of like, you were late. Don't ever let that happen again. I'm looking like a concerned boss to say, hey, what's going on? And they might go, oh, I'm sorry. I just wasn't good with time today. But they are realizing she noticed. That is going to lessen that behavior happening again. Versus when you don't say something, they think he doesn't care. She doesn't mind, right? They're not acknowledging it. So say what's on your mind versus blowing up on them when it happens the 10th time and you're upset. Number three is listen actively. Don't just hear them, listen. Ask for feedback, encourage ideas, and be present in their conversations. How many times, and I am so guilty of this, guys, how many times are you in a meeting, maybe you're on Zoom and you're typing away and they're like, what do you think? And you're like, what do I think about what? Right? You're like, how do I answer this even though I didn't hear the entire conversation? You are not fooling anybody because they can see and feel you're distracted. Trust me when I say, when you are in a meeting, like back away from your computer, put your hands, like maybe that's probably bad body language, but get your hands away from the keyboard is what I'm trying to say. Because when you're close to the computer, it's very easy to click over here and click over there. And then you're like, wait, what do you need? So definitely be present. They will feel heard. They will feel valued. They will feel respected. And when they feel those things, they will reciprocate that respect to you. Number four is take responsibility. I think a lot of business owners think they have to be the leader at the top and they have to be perfect, and nobody can know that they don't know what they're doing. They don't want people to see them gamble on something and then make a mistake and then take the blame for it, right? You are human. You are not perfect. And I definitely want you to know that you can absolutely say to your team, guys, I messed up. Or guys, we're trying something this week and I'm guessing. I'm taking the best educated guess I can on what is going on, and we're going to go ahead and try it. And I'm not sure if it's going to be right, but we're going to go ahead and try it anyway, right? Because it's our best educated guess. When people start to see, okay, she's human or he's human, right? They don't have it all together, but they're trying. And sometimes it doesn't work. Well, how do you want your team? Think about it. Your team is going to make mistakes. Your A players will mess up. So if you can show them what it looks like to make a mistake, to own it, to take extreme ownership and say, hey, this was on me. I didn't do this. It's not okay, but I do want to take ownership. When you own your mistakes, you're showing the rest of the team that, number one, I'm not expecting perfection, right? But I am expecting that if you do mess up, you are owning what is happening in the business. When we're talking about owning your mistakes, never throw your team under the bus. I saw somebody get called out online for something they said on social media, and her response was, I didn't post that. My social media manager did. Kind of like blaming the social media manager. And it's like, okay, but hold up. You hired her, you trained her or didn't train her. And this is the level of work she's producing because of you. So don't think, I'm just going to blame this person or I'm going to let my clients know it wasn't my fault. Listen, that person came from your business, right? If somebody messes up on your team, it definitely reflects on you and your leadership. So don't blame them and take accountability for it. Number 5, empower others. Trust your team with real responsibilities. So many business owners have trust issues. They have control issues, right? They are control freaks. And I say this with all love because you know this is how I am as well. But what happens is when you hold on to everything, you realize at some point, like, this isn't fun. I don't want to be the person that puts out every fire. I don't want to be the bottleneck. I don't want to be, right, the person needed, most reliant 24/7 in the business. So you have to learn to start to trust. Well, the problem is maybe you don't know how, or maybe it's really scary. But what you want to start to do is start to give little decisions, right? Give them little responsibilities. And as the people on your team start to prove they can handle it, you give them more and more and more. So sometimes people will come into Well-Oiled and they'll see a team member that's been with me for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and they're like, oh my goodness, where did you find this person? I'm like, hold up. Yes, they absolutely came in an A player or we would not have hired them. But there's a lot of training that they've gotten in the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, etc. So you really want to make sure that you understand that you're not just going to find somebody who can just do these high-level decisions. You bring them in, you start to notice, okay, I think I could give her this, or I could give him that. And as they prove they can handle it, okay, what's a little bit of a bigger responsibility that they can tackle? A great way to try this is when you go on vacation or when a leader goes on vacation. Who can we have step up and step into that role temporarily to see how do they do it? How do they handle it? Does it go well? I had a situation once where a leader was having a hard time letting go because she wasn't trusting the team that was in that department. And the problem was, instead of teaching that team how to handle these situations, she was just doing it herself. But that is just a never-ending cycle of you always keeping these things on your plate. So the question is, how do you start to train little by little? Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe your team isn't ready for autonomy. Maybe they aren't ready to make final decisions. But how can you get them started? How can you give them the space to learn from these decisions and sometimes the mistakes they make in these decisions? Empowered people are going to feel capable and respect leaders who believe in them. If they realize that you're micromanaging and you don't trust them, they're not going to have a level of respect for you because they think you don't respect them. 6 is recognize and celebrate contributions. You want to acknowledge effort and results publicly and privately. And I'm talking sincere praise, not just like a good job or an emoji that pops through Slack, right? You want to sincerely appreciate and acknowledge their hard work. The more details you can share, the better. If you just say, great job last week, right? Versus, I want to acknowledge you for how you handled that client situation and how she was a little hesitant or, she was a little upset and you completely were able to calm her down, show her what was happening, and she is really excited and really happy. And the way you did that, right? When you go into that kind of detail versus like, great job, you're crushing it, it just doesn't feel as sincere. Now, I would tell you, my natural personality is not to go into detail. It is not even to say good job, because in my head, I'm just moving on to the next thing. And sometimes I forget to even say good job to myself, and I definitely forget to say it to my team. This is something I've really had to work on. I don't need compliments, and I don't get them a lot because a lot of times the top people aren't praising the top, right? They don't want to seem like they're brown nosing. So a lot of times you, the owner, you're not getting all of that great work and you did this, right? But you have to be that person for your team. They need it. And that sincere praise is going to fuel their loyalty and boost team morale. People respect leaders who notice and appreciate their contributions. Now, my rule is praise in public, critique in private. So that means if you've got something good to say, you can say it in front of everybody. And trust me, you don't always just want to praise privately, because sometimes it feels really nice to be called out in front of my peers and everybody knows what good job I did. We never critique publicly. Nobody wants to be scolded in front of the rest of the group. How can you have a private one-on-one to fill in the blanks of what worked, what didn't, what you want to see moving forward? But that should not happen on a team meeting huddle. Number 7, stay calm under pressure. Your emotional steadiness is going to set the tone. So when challenges arise, you respond with composure, not panic. Employees respect leaders who can guide the ship through the storm without losing their cool. Energy is contagious. If you are anxious, if you are freaking out because of something that just happened, if you're bringing that negative energy to your team, you're scaring them. You want to make sure that even when times get tough, you are that steady person. You are the positive person. I mean, we had a few weeks where something was going on with our marketing funnel and the Facebook algorithm, and it just was like bad week after bad week after bad week. And I just kept showing up and saying, this is going to be it. This is going to be a good week. And then we wouldn't have a good week. And then the next week I'm like, all right, guys, I feel it. Like it's coming. We're making changes. We're making progress. And if you just keep showing up and showing you're okay and you're calm and you've got a plan, you're going to make everybody else feel like, okay, she's got it, or he's in control. I feel good about the ship I'm on. You definitely don't want them thinking, this isn't looking good. I'm not sure this business is going to be here much longer. I got to find another place to go. Now, one thing I'll say about staying calm, this can be emotional, right? Running a business, working with team members, you can have emotional employees who are freaking out because you've just changed something and they're thinking, but what does this mean for me? And they come with emotion. Maybe they're crying. Maybe they're anxious. Maybe they're upset. You want to make sure that you are calming them down. They might be angry at you, right? They might have a raised voice. You do not want to match that energy. Instead, what you need to do is you need to calm down and keep your composure. And a lot of times when somebody's screaming at you, right, and you are not screaming back, they realize the difference in the disconnect and they will come down to your level. If someone's screaming at you and you're screaming back, it actually escalates. So we want you to keep cool, keep calm, right? And you'll start to get them. So when you can say, I understand you're upset, having that like lower voice, right? Quieter voice, the tone is there. They're like, okay, she's hearing me, right? They're going to start to calm down. Because the last thing you want is for somebody who is emotional and not even thinking logically, right? That all of a sudden you're turning this into something that it doesn't need to be. That is easier said than done. Because when somebody is maybe attacking you, you want to defend. And when you defend, you might get angry or loud or whatever. And you cannot do that as an owner. Number 8 is be fair and consistent and avoid favoritism. All right, I have different thoughts on favorites than a lot of people do. So when I say avoid favoritism, I mean just picking somebody as your favorite and all of a sudden you've connected with them and you can tell you're treating them differently and they have different consequences or rewards or whatever it is. Now, I am pro favorites when it's public knowledge of how you become a favorite. So for instance, I remember one time somebody said to me in dance, you cannot pick your favorites and have them in the front. I'm like, listen, my favorites are the kids that show up, work their butt off. They actually want to be there. They're coachable. They're listening. So guess what? Here's what it takes to be my favorite. You can all know how to get there. And those are my favorites, right? It's so easy to be a favorite. You show up, you do the work, you raise your hand when you get stuck. That is being a favorite. Same thing with your employees. Do I have favorites? Oh, you better believe I do. My favorites are the people in alignment with our company values, that are resourceful, that show up, that are driven, that contribute to the team. They're team players. I absolutely have favorites, but guess what? I'm inviting my entire team to be one of my favorites. What's not okay is just picking a favorite because you grew up with this person or they're a family member or you just clicked right away and they're just like you and you kind of let certain things slide. Your employees will lose respect for you so incredibly fast. So apply rules, reward, and consequences evenly. Respect thrives when people know that they are being treated equitably. So regardless of how long they've been here or their role or how they know you specifically. There was a rumor going around at school that one of the teachers has favorites in the class. And they were kind of warning me as my kid was entering that grade. And then I experienced that grade and I experienced the teacher. And I was like, I don't think she has favorites. I think the naughty kids are her least favorite because they don't listen. She's trying to help them. They're distracting, right? It kind of looks like she enjoys the kids that are well-behaved and are listening. I'm like, is that weird? I don't think it is, right? Like, I really think it's just, let's tell people what we're looking for. Let's let them step up to become one of the favorites. And guess what? If you have 20 employees, they can all be your favorite. Number 9 is invest in your team's growth. You want to show genuine interest in every person on your team's personal development. So you want to provide coaching, training, opportunities in advance. When you invest in other people's futures, they respect your leadership so much. And a lot of times they want to stay because of the way you are treating them. I've been investing in myself for 20 years. I've spent over $1 million so far, not including my bachelor's degree, on my ongoing education. Well worth it. My businesses produce over $1 million a month. I'll take $1 million over the last 20 years, no problem. Now, at some point, I realized that the business had to become bigger than me. I couldn't just grow myself. I needed to grow the rest of the team. And I was really scared to spend money on somebody's training because I thought, what if they just take it and open up their own place? What if they take it, go to my competitor, go someplace else, and I've wasted $5,000, $10,000, etc. on somebody who's not like attached or married to the business. And I really had that fear for a long time, and that held me back from investing in my team. At some point, I just started to model what everybody else was doing who was further ahead than me, and they were investing in their best A players. So I did it, and I started paying for people to get education and training. And what happened was those people just got more and more loyal to my company. Not only that, they were starting to blow up. Whatever it was they were learning, it was like they were coming back and getting so inspired, so motivated. They were getting clarity. They knew what to do. They'd come back and say, oh, we did this over here because of learning XYZ, and now look what happened here, right? And they're just taking a different sense of pride and ownership in the work that they're doing. Now, have I ever invested in a training and somebody took it and left? I have. It does happen. And I think it's Henry Ford that says, you're afraid of like, what if I invest in them and they leave? Well, what if you don't invest in them and don't train them and they stay? Do you want those kind of people on your team? People that aren't learning, aren't growing? No, I want to make sure not only am I getting stronger, I'm getting smarter, I'm getting better, but so are my key players on my team. One of the things we do in Well-Oiled is we have the CEO, the business owner, comes in and purchases, invests in the program, but we let them bring in 4 additional people to get trained as well. So what I love about that is you don't have to be afraid that you've wasted money on a person, because you're actually investing in yourself and you're getting a bonus, like 4 extra tickets for other people. And I'll tell you, the people that come in and actually use those bonus seats, they'll come back and say, Stacy, my team is on fire. Stacy, this person said, I've never felt so valued before. We have people that will fly their team members into in-person events, and I get to see them and talk to them. And they're like, I can't believe she flew me here. Like, I can't believe she sees this much potential in me. They just kind of step up and level up, and it's so exciting to see. So this one is a hard one because I get it. It's scary and it might take you a minute to understand. But once you start to invest in them and you start to see the difference, you're going to get addicted to saying, okay, what else can I buy? What else can I invest in? Who needs what? How can I support them more? And number 10, practice humility. Admit what you don't know and be open to learning from anyone, even a junior entry-level employee. Humility makes you approachable, relatable, and respected. I am not claiming to know it all and have all of the answers. I absolutely want to hear other ideas from people on my team. For instance, I am about to re-record the entire Well-Oiled Operations program. I could have just done it myself on my own. But what I did was instead, I actually went to clients and asked for feedback, but I also went to my coaches and asked for feedback. I went to my managers and we interviewed them and asked specific questions. What can we do to get the clients faster results? What are you seeing? Give us you're working with them all day, every day. Tell us, right? And then we got all of our coaches to just give us ideas and feedback on some of the things we were rolling out. And as I'm reading those, I'm asking myself, what are the good ideas here? Like, I didn't think of any of these that they're posting because they're giving me suggestions and add-ons. And I am hand selecting, ooh, this is good. Or I'll write back and say, tell me more. What do you mean by this? Fill me in. What is missing here? And the more I'm showing them, like, I don't have all the answers and I love hearing from you, the more they're like, wow, the things I'm saying here, they're listening. They're taking the feedback and they feel like they're part of the community. They feel like they're part of the actual organization that's like steering the ship. And a lot of these A players, they want a piece of that. They want to feel like they're contributing to this business. Leadership respect is earned through daily habits, not titles. Consistently model the behavior you want, care for your people, and hold yourself to high standards. Respect will naturally follow.